Terrell Clayton, I repeat, Terrell Clayton, does not know what he's talking about. That is not how the economy works. It is good that the United States has outsourced everything. It is good that the United States does not make anything. It is good for the companies that we have sent. It is good for the companies because their profit margins are down, and it is good for everybody. I repeat, Terrell Clayton is wrong. Trump's tariffs is good for the country. America is great because the countries, the companies, the Fortune 500 companies outsource everything. And it's good that there's no jobs in the job market. I repeat one more time. Breaking news, Terrell Clayton does not know what he's talking about. So, where does this come from? And of course, I'm being facetious. So, where does this mindset, what I'm saying, and these words come from? That I say that I don't know what I'm talking about? Well, that what somebody told me in the comments that that's not how the economy works. Matter of fact, it's good that companies has outsourced everything because the fact that they make more money, they're able to hire more people, they're able to provide more jobs. That's what the person said. And I'm kind of filling in because they just said the more money that companies make in labor, the better off they are. I say to that, that's my response. That's not true. Look at the job market today. Look at all of these companies in massive layoffs from federal to private entities. Massive layoffs. Microsoft, Google, Apple, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase, Target, Publix, Winn-Dixie, etc. What job in what sector has not had a massive layoff? And so therefore, it doesn't matter how much money companies actually make. That doesn't trickle down to the economy. A company can make an extra 10% or 15% year over year return and meet all their goals and still have massive layoffs. Why? Because a company is always going to do what a company does, and that's to be able to do what's best for their bottom line. And what's best for their bottom line? To be able to make as much money and to be able to keep as much money as possible so they can literally show their shareholders that they are a profitable company that's moving in the right direction, and they could be able to provide guidance in what they will look like in the future, which will allow them to have more people buy into the stock, which will raise the stock price. I repeat, having more money because you're saving on labor costs by hiring outside of the country doesn't always translate into jobs, companies, conglomerates hiring more people. So now that I got that out the way, here's what I want to say. America does need to create jobs. America does need to create infrastructure within the country that we can literally provide more jobs for, and we can literally provide more opportunities for people. Do you know what's missing right now in the economy? Starter jobs. You know what else missing? Starter homes. But let's talk about the starter jobs for a minute, right? So Winn-Dixie, Publix, grocery stores, fast food, always the starter jobs for the young people, right? So normally when you're in high school, when you're in college, you normally have a starter job to pass you by while you're getting your education, and it's not too much knowledge, it's not too much pressure on your shoulders. You don't have to be able to worry about performing at a job too much. You literally go in and you get the job done, right? But guess what? The more and more of the larger jobs, the executive jobs, the mid-level management jobs, the jobs that was held, normally held by people in their 30s, late 30s, mid 30s, late 20s, those jobs are going away. So guess what those people have to do? They got to go and get jobs at grocery stores. They have to be able to go get jobs at fast food restaurants. So a lot of times they're more qualified to be able to get the job done at a grocery store, at a fast food. So who loses in that situation? The young people. And what happens when the young people don't have a job? They can't put money into the economy. They have to depend on mommy and daddy, right? Because they can't do it on their own, right? So that discretionary income that normally comes in for the young people that have a job, they're not having it anymore. They don't, that discretionary income is going away. And so my point that I made earlier this week still stands. America can't put tariffs on its partners, on its trade partners, on its neighbors, Mexico and Canada, because it's going to hurt the economy overall. It's going to hurt the economy because, again, America doesn't make anything. We outsource everything. We outsource our lumber that we get from Canada. I mean, the lumber that we get from Canada is outsourced to build our houses. The steel that we get in from Canada is to build our houses. The grain that we're getting from Russia and Ukraine, the minerals, all the things that we're getting from Africa, the food that we're getting from Mexico. Listen, America's not doing those things. If you look at, and so what does that mean, Barris, right? So that's what you guys, okay, and. So what does that mean? How can you stimulate an economy if you don't have the money? And the reason that you don't have the money is you don't have the infrastructure. And without infrastructure, you're doomed to fail, right? And so it lasts for a while, right? Because you can always say, well, the same companies that laid people off, they are able to rehire them again at a later time. But at what cost? How many foreclosures happen? How many people get kicked out of their homes? How many people have to go to have to be able to get on the government subsidy programs? How many people have to move in with their parents? How much violence goes up by people stealing and killing? Right? And what cost do we just say, okay, well, the companies that's making the most because they outsource everything, we're just waiting for them to rehire us because we refuse to build infrastructure in the United States. Doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense at all. And so that's the point, Barris. When you ask me, okay, and that's the point. And so I don't just think about myself, right? I think about the bigger picture, right? We were talking about macroeconomics. The bigger picture is this. Discretionary income is what makes the United States powerful, along with credit. But when credit is at an all-time high, the way that it is now, right? No time in American history has more credit been leveraged, from credit cards to lines of credits to your loans, right? No other time has it been any higher, right? When people can't repay their credits, and you look at student loans have come back now, and the forbearance have been moved away, then people will not have that discretionary income to be able to spend to stimulate the economy and do the things that they need to do. So I'm not going to spend all day on this today. I just had to be able to come back, and I want to just speak to y'all and just say how it is. America needs to rebuild the infrastructure if we decide that we want to continue to be a powerful nation, because that's what it is. That's the answer. Later, y'all.